let's get to these 6 takeaways. We will start with the bad first. First takeaway. That start that we had, that's got to go. If we want to be taken seriously in this league, a 14-point deficit against the Giannis-less Bucks, Milwaukee was shooting 61% at the half, guys. You know, with our length, with them not having Giannis, it's inexcusable to be letting that team do what they did. Now, granted, they did cool off in the second half, which enabled us, and we had a lot to do with it as well. I will get to our good takeaways, don't you worry. But I will say that there are a couple of key concerns, and I will get to those in the next couple of takeaways. But the first half, y'all watching Cobra Kai, by the way, this 4th season has been lit. I'm going to tell you right now, if y'all have been watching that, I was a big Karate Kid fan when I was a kid. I grew up in Tanzania, Africa, and over there, Karate Kid, everybody knew Karate Kid. Everybody didn't even know what karate was until Karate Kid, and like Bruce Lee and stuff, you know what I mean? But they're killing it with that show. This season's been mad, bro, mad. But anyways, let's not get sidetracked here. You gotta strike first, like Cobra Kai, all right? You gotta have a fusion of everything, you know? You gotta have that defense like Miyagi-Do, and you gotta strike first as well. If you want to be taken seriously, you got to be a badass team. If we want to be that kind of team with that swagger and that drip, as we all now say, no one says swagger anymore. Everyone says drip. You know, if we want to have that drip, if we want to be looked at as that team that can go up against the big boys, we got to come out swinging. Good teams don't wait. That's number one. We erased the 14-point deficit in the third quarter and then in the fourth quarter. Now let's get to takeaway number 2. Takeaway number 1, of course, gotta have a better first half, gotta strike first. Cobra Kai, baby. Takeaway number 2, we missed clutch free throws. Now, it wasn't just Pascal. And by the way, I'm about to get to him with the next takeaway. So don't go away anywhere, because I'm gonna tell you right now that there are a few things I'm gonna talk about Pascal that may surprise some of y'all, because I've been really, really supporting him lately. I'm not saying I'm not going to support the man, but I am gonna say there are a few things that I noticed today, but we'll get to that. The missed free throws at the end of the game. We went from having a 14-point deficit, a 14-point hill to climb, to having a 15-point lead, guys. And just like that, that lead evaporated so quickly without them having Giannis, without the Bucks having Giannis. And this is what I'm saying is not good. It may look good on paper, but when the time comes, we need to be careful. Because if Milwaukee had both its closers, because Middleton's also a closer, then I don't see us having won this game. Not the way it played out, the way it did tonight. I'm very happy that we won, that this is 4 in a row now. Our second best win streak of the season. We had 5 in a row in the beginning, and now we're above 500, and that's fantastic. Don't get me wrong, I bleed purple. Well, it was purple before. I always made that mistake, but yeah. I'm a big time Raptors fan, and I'm gonna tell you right now, nothing makes me more happy other than a couple other things that I can't really mention here. And we got some kids watching, you know. And the thing is that these missed free throws were key. I mean, you're looking at crunch time, right? Milwaukee cuts it to like 7 points with 2 minutes remaining. And y'all are getting opportunities at the line to close out this one. Like, you know, to put the daggers into Milwaukee. A Giannis-less, must I mention again, Milwaukee. And granted, it's a tough thing to do on the road with that kind of crowd. You could feel the tension in the air. Remember, Milwaukee is a championship team now. They have championship pedigree, and that's what that was. That was Milwaukee fighting back with pride in front of their home crowd, who they just won a chip for last year. They're trying to, you know, despite Giannis not being there, these players still have pride. These players want to show that they can do it without having to lean on just one star, right? Maybe not on a night-to-night basis, maybe not to win a championship, definitely not to win a championship without him. But they want to prove that they can hold their own against the best if push comes to shove. Having said that, when Milwaukee missed that 1 3-pointer that could have made this a 4-point game with about 1.5 minutes left on the clock, that's when we got a little bit of luck. I mean, you got to be good to be lucky and lucky to be good. That's one thing I believe in, for sure. But at the end of the day, guys, boy, we're lucky that 3-pointer didn't go in. There would have been a different narrative tonight. It would have been harder. Milwaukee would have been more juiced in front of that home crowd. So guys, we really gotta make those free throws in crunch time. You know, Pascal, he was 5 of 7 on the night, and he missed 2 free throws when it mattered most. What's with this guy in crunch time? Now that goes to my third takeaway, guys. The third bad takeaway. I've been supporting Pascal Siakam. Y'all already know how much I've been supporting this guy. Okay, I've been saying a lot of good things about him, and I mean those things. Don't get me wrong. But, you know, I was thinking about it. The man gets paid $33 million, like $30 to $33 million a season. Max contract player. And the dude cannot close out regular season games like this. Well, how's he going to do it in the playoffs? That's one thing that really stuck to me. If he's going to take his game to the next level, he needs to be able to close out in the regular season, especially from the free throw line, Pascal. Come on. I'm out here rooting for you. You know? This looks really good on paper. What he did tonight? Pascal had 33 points. He had 6 assists, 5 rebounds. Some of those assists were beautiful. His vision's gotten much better. But it's the closing out from Pascal. When's the last time we remember this guy hitting a game-winning shot? It was that game against Phoenix early season when he was first given the primary score option a couple of years ago, after the departure of Kawhi and Danny Green. So he's got to be better in the crunch. You know, like now he's back. Before there was some struggles even during the game, but in crunch time he's got to be better, man. You know, you can't be missing free throws. I know you're missing shots, a lot of in and out shots, a lot of, like, you just get so pissed off because it's so close every time. And free throw misses, that's the closest. Like, you know, like, how are you gonna miss free throws, bro? You know, you're a max contract player. To be honest with you, I sat down and thought about it, and I'm like, that contract, for the way he's performing, if he can't close out games, with that kind of contract, you gotta be able to close out games, man. You gotta be able to close out games. If you can't close out games with that contract, bro, you're getting 20 mil. Draymond Green gets paid like 20, 23 mil or something like that. You know, I'm sure he's closed out more games than Pascal. Come on, man. He's been around longer, but still. I'm not happy with Pascal's, even though he did well, I'm not happy with the way he closed out this game. And that was important, man. That was important. A lot of y'all will say, yo, I told you we should just trade him. But that's not the point, man. The point is the contract is just, you know, it's so heavy for somebody who is supposed to be a primary, you know? What he's supposed to bring to the table. It's going to be hard to sell that contract. So we got to work with him and see what we can do to make him worth that contract. And maybe then we'll just want to keep him. That's why I'm saying let's not trade him right away. Because what are we going to do? You know, like, it's going to be tough, man. And the last Pascal Siakam take, I'll show you all over here, that I made. In the comment section of the video, I was talking to a Raptors fan, and he's just like, we got to trade Pascal, probably for Ayton or Simmons or something like that. And I'm just like, yeah, man, you know, but the thing is, maybe not Ayton yet. I probably want to see another year of him, but Simmons, you know, that's some elite all-star level talent, right? No matter what's been said about him, that's Ben Simmons. You know, he's a superstar. You know what I mean? We could, with our development, we could probably do something with that guy. You know, and Pascal for him, yeah, but see, no one will take Pascal for him. There'll be more needed to be added to that. Unless Pascal is able to close out games, then do we even want to trade him? That's a whole different story. That's what I'm trying to say. So let's not jump the gun on it, because Masai's probably waiting to see what happens a little bit more. You know, that's why he's the best executive in the league. Arguably. Anyways, so those are the 3 takeaways, man. I just wanted to clear up that Pascal Siakam here. You know, I do see what you guys are saying when it comes to the primary scorer thing. But he's not, like, you know, useless. Like, you can see his stats. He can play. He can play. And when he's on, he's an all-star. You know, but the thing is that there's all-stars and there's superstars who can close out. There's some all-stars that can close out too, don't get me wrong. But we're trying to get this guy to be a superstar. He only started playing ball like 8-9 years ago. So let's give it maybe another year. Let's give it a little bit more time and see what happens. Our core is still young. You know, we have guys developing. Scottie's still coming into his own. He didn't really have the best game statistically tonight, but he ran the offense multiple times and you could notice him on the court. The intangibles with this guy are huge. His ball IQ is amazing. Made a couple mistakes here and there. Foul Middleton on a 3. Sure, whatever. That happens. He's a rookie. We'll allow it. He's done a lot more good than he's done bad early this season. Before I ramble on, I will go on to the good takeaways of tonight. Fred VanVleet, number 1. He's going to be an all-star. The dude is just super noticeable on the court. Everything he does, the intangibles he brings, everything he does on the box, in the box score. He wasn't like super sizzling like he's been all week. He had 19 points. He had a couple steals. He had 5 assists. He had 3 rebounds. And he had 5 3-pointers, which was really, really good. So I really liked what I saw from Freddie. I called it from one of my earlier takes. If y'all want to check that out, that's right over here. Fred VanVleet's going to be an all-star this season. I'm so happy for him, what he's done, and the way that Lowry's passed the torch to him, and the way that he's taken that and ran with it. He's really holding it down after Lowry's departure, and he's been a great heir to Lowry's previous throne as leading point guard of Toronto Raptors. So I really loved what I saw from Freddie. He's going to be an all-star, and I'm super proud of him. Who cannot be? He's undrafted, right? Went from undrafted to now an all-star, right? It's amazing. $80 million contract, amazing for him. Just inspiring. It should be an inspiration to all of us. Bet on yourself and never quit. Right? So great on Freddie. A second good takeaway, GTJ. GTJ has been pleasantly surprising this season, all season. He's been really, really good, especially on the defensive end. And he continues to lead the NBA in steals. He is just phenomenal. He's just been phenomenal this season. His offensive outbursts, recently he's been so much more consistent with his offensive game. It's been such a joy to watch, 22 points in this one. He was a plus 14 on the night. He had a block. He had a couple rebounds. He shot pretty well from the field, but not too well from 3. But, sometimes that can happen. He was 3 of 10 from 3. But you could notice the 3s that he did score, and, those were momentum shifters. So Gary's really good at doing that. He has ice in his veins, got the cojones, he's got the big balls, just like Freddie VanVleet, right? And we know that Gary Trent Jr. has a lot of potential. So I'm super looking forward to seeing what this guy is going to bring to the table. He's in one of the best development systems in the league. You know what I mean? Best training and development systems for players. So just super, super psyched for him. Super psyched to have him. And, now when we look back at that Norman Powell trade, how does it really look? It looks, I'd rather have this young budding star and Gary Trent Jr. than have paid Powell, to just have the same results over and over. Not a knock on Norm. I love Norm, but y'all know what I mean. GTJ, he's got that potential to be a star. Another takeaway from tonight, Justin Champagnie. He's been a pleasant surprise. Him coming off the bench and giving us what he has at his, he's undersized for a power forward in the position that he plays. He's versatile. He can play between any position, but mainly 3 and 4. That bounce that he has, that hustle that he has, and that energy that he brings off the bench, it's been tremendous, especially the last couple of games. Last game, he only missed 1 3. He almost had a perfect game, 14 points career high, short career high. And it was just phenomenal to see. I like some Champagnie after my victories. That's what I said after that. But I'll tell you what, he was a plus 16 off the bench. So a lot of intangibles that he brought that led to us having more points while he was on the floor. He had 6 points. He was 3 of 4, very efficient from the field again. Granted, most of those are at the rim and they're cleanup buckets. He's Mr. Clean for us with hair, with an afro. All right. So that's how I see Justin. And other than that, y'all, Anunoby also had a super good game. He was 4 of 7 from 3, 6 of 10 from the field. And he, I've always loved OG's game, and now it's evolving more. He did have a couple of silly shots that he took. One in particular, I think it was around the second quarter, where he did the step back, and he could have passed it off to Scottie, but he just did this wacky step back, and he missed it. And it's just like sometimes the decision making is on offense, but otherwise, he's our main anchor on defense. He's a two-way phenom. He's just going to keep improving. He's very young. I don't need to give you a whole scouting report on OG, but I will tell you that he had a great game, especially on the box score, and with the intangible he provides, much more than that. OG's the man, the real OG. 22 points. He also did have 6 rebounds, and he had a couple assists as well in there. And of course, even though I was talking about him before in a not so positive light, in this video at least, Pascal Siakam had a monster game. If when it comes down to the clutch situations, maybe he's not at the apex of where he should be, to put it, as an understatement. But he's been really, really good. In the box score in the last few games, his impact in the game, I mean, look, without his performance, you don't win this game. It's 4 quarters. You need an cumulative effort. We're talking about his clutchness. We're talking about his contract. But his performance, 33 points, 13 to 23 from the field. A lot of those misses came in crunch time, which is why, what I was saying earlier. And Pascal's been really good when it comes to his playmaking recently. His vision is like that of a hawk. If you guys notice the way he's been passing and finding mans when he doesn't have the right shot, it's been really good. He's been taking the right shots. That's the big difference in his game. Even those crunch time shots were the right shots. He just didn't make them. And it's been too coincidental that he's not been making them, and that's why I'm upset with him when it comes to that. That's why I'm questioning the validity of his contract. It's not anything to do with his performance lately, guys. We need to make sure that Pascal can live up to that contract, and you need the clutch gene for that. Let's see if he can develop that, to close out this year. I know there's still a whole other, 3/4 of a season, a whole other half of a season left to be played. But let's see what happens. To go along with his 33 points, by the way, and his 6 assists and 5 rebounds, he had a block and he had 3 steals as well. So beast on the defensive end. Look, Pascal, he can do it all, man. If he can get that clutch gene to activate and hand in these kind of box score performances, then sky's the limit for this dude, man. Let's see what happens. But other than that, guys, those are your 6 takeaways. Hit that like and subscribe button if you did enjoy this. Raptors win 4 in a row, baby. Let's see what happens in the next game. I'll see you then. Peace.